Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, Jerry Goebel and State Farm Insurance, Richmond, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, expressroofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank in Richmond and Berea, Luxury Pet Services in Richmond, Time Warner Cable, Equipment Sales and Rentals, Madison County Schools, Tatum Enterprises, and Real Life Community Church, myrealchurch.org. We want to be sure and thank our fine sponsors, Berea Online, First Gear, WKYT.com, and the Colonel Sports Card Shop. A shout out to another great sponsor, Journey Auto and Boat Sales in Richmond. And welcome to another great sponsor, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Chris Hornsby in Highland Park.
Welcome to Madison County School Sports Television. I'm Samantha Burford, and I am here with the most special guest, and I couldn't be more excited than to introduce Mr. Barton of the Madison Central State Marching Band, it's a long title, Kentucky 5A Champions.
It's Kentucky 5A Champions.
That's right.
Repeat champion.
I'm putting an S on the end because it is 2 years in a row.
It is 2 years in a row.
How incredible is that?
It's pretty cool.
I mean, I was so excited. I didn't get the pleasure of being in Bowling Green, but I had updates all day long on Saturday. It was fantastic. Give us your thoughts. It's a long day, so give us your thoughts on. Let's just start with Saturday, and then we'll get back into some of the regular season competitions.
It's a long day. It's a long day Saturday. I make an itinerary several weeks in advance, and I think about motels and how long it's going to take them to get out of the motel. We've tried to find a staging area and a little bit of a practice field. Moss Middle School is not too far away from the stadium, so we
practice.
Yeah, we rented it out for 2 days, and the field was terrible. It was.
It was a middle school field.
It makes our middle school looks like the Bengals Stadium, like Paul Brown Stadium.
Really? Yeah. So I'm guessing it was a little muddy.
It was muddy and it was bad. We rented lights and they were bad too. It was like all of that part of it. I wouldn't say exactly a fiasco, but it wasn't great.
Right.
But we plan on itinerary and
hour by hour.
Hour by hour, actually,
day.
Sometimes minute by minute.
Okay.
Because you know how long it's going to take to hopefully get to Western. You know how long it's going to take to get off the bus. But it takes a lot of planning just to figure it out. And then, of course, and the parents love this, there's the inevitable changes.
Yes. Always.
Something happens. Like we were supposed to be back in our rooms to rest at 2:30, and we hadn't even walked Western. Are you familiar with campus?
Yes.
It's spread out and it's all uphill.
Yes.
Everything. It's kind of. I joke with the staff. This is the only place in a geographic place in the United States that every direction is uphill. Like sometimes you go uphill and then you go downhill.
But this is always up.
Every place you go is always uphill from the stadium. So, we were supposed to be back in the motel room at 2. We performed at 1:30 and we're supposed to be back in the hotel at 2:30. We were still walking to the trucks at 2. At that time, so
right.
We had to change the whole itinerary.
You were going to be behind schedule.
Yep. So, and then the parents go, well, we got the food ready now, and so it's all
You're
that.
Like, well, we're not there to eat it yet.
Yeah, I'll stop short of saying it was exactly a fiasco, and we have great ladies. I mean, they're very flexible, and they do.
You have the best band
we have
parents
the best
ever. It's unbelievable. I've never heard of any organization that's got such support and backing. There's orange everywhere.
There is, and that's a really good thing. A band is kind of like an army. It's a small army, I guess.
Yes.
But it takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of people to load that equipment, to unload the equipment, to feed the kids, to haul the food around,
right.
To get the kids dressed,
right.
To haul their uniforms, to haul their hats, to haul their shoes.
Saturday, how many times did you feed the students?
4, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
And we're not talking about 10 kids or 50
No, 200
kids.
kids or 205 kids.
Right. And let's just say this is the biggest band you've ever
Yeah, it's
had.
It's the biggest band I've had. And yeah, it's the biggest band I've had ever.
Ever, right. And we also want to mention the biggest freshman incoming class that you've ever had, correct?
We have some sophomores. We picked up some sophomores that never marched before. That thought it looked very cool.
He's speaking to my daughter that plays the trumpet over there that thinks that she's not able to march and play at the same time.
Yeah, she's been dancing like she's like 2 years old.
Yes.
She can't march.
Right.
But anyway, no offense.
No, she knows. She knows you're recruiting her.
But we we have several sophomores that the kids get a little bit intimidated by it all. It looks pretty daunting from the outside looking in. So we have a few sophomores, but we have, I think, 65 new marchers this year.
That's
Out
incredible.
of the 200. Well, it counts all the new guard. It counts all the new all the new
Right.
people.
And we do want to give a shout out. The guard is the biggest. The color guard I'm speaking of, unbelievable.
They're really big and they're good.
Impressive.
They're very young.
Yes. And I mean, Saturday, and we'll get to this, but I'm going to mention it already with the rain. Those rifles and flags, they get a little heavy.
They get heavy, and the rifles get really, really slick.
Yes.
I mean, they're not made out of any kind of textured wood. They're just kind of a hard veneer. They have a hard veneer.
Yes.
And they're kind of slick anyway. Even in the best conditions, if they get a little dew on them, they're kind of. But
Very
when they
slippery.
when they start pouring water on them, they just become like trying to catch a fish.
But you know what? You guys had been practicing not only in winter weather, summer weather. You practice in every condition to get these kids prepared.
We do. We had a practice at EKU and it poured the rain. It was a week ago tonight.
Yes.
And some of the new parents were like, "Oh my God, what's he doing? Is he out of his mind?
Is he going to call it off?"
Yeah, and is he out of his mind? My wife said that too. Is he out of his mind? But in the back of my head, and our staff is real good about this. But we thought, it might rain in Bowling Green, and when else are they going to have a chance to practice in the pouring down rain in a college stadium? So at least they'll
be prepared.
Yeah.
And you didn't know it at the time, but it paid off.
It paid off. It started raining. Those days are long on me because I have to make so many decisions. I mean, it's a hard day, I won't lie. And I went up to my room, lay down for about an hour, and then I got back up, and some of the staff said, it's 100% chance of rain. I go, great. But it started raining right as we started loading the bus for the last time for the middle school.
Really?
And by the time we got to Western, it was sprinkling, and by the time we unloaded the buses, it was pouring.
Yeah.
And it poured all the way until, it passed right when they gave the announcement. It started to turn back to drizzle.
Yeah.
But the whole time down there it was raining.
Well, and you mentioned a minute ago, it takes a lot of parents to load and unload.
It does.
It's not just once that they're loading and unloading. How many times throughout that day on Saturday?
I can't even count. They load the stuff from the hotel or from Central to go to the hotel. They load the stuff at the hotel to the middle school. Then they load the stuff from the middle school to go back to the hotel. Then they go back to the middle school. Then they load it up and take it to the high school or to the stadium at Western. And it's not very close at Western. They have to park that truck. I guess it's close to a mile from the stadium.
Well, I was getting ready to say a couple miles away, but
uphill.
Uphill. That's exactly right. And nothing's well, maybe a flute. That's lightweight, but nothing.
But the stuff they load, like those marimbas and all those things, those are all real heavy. So it probably takes 15 or 20 dads working as hard as they can work to unload this stuff each time.
Well, before I forget to mention it, I'm not really going to forget, but we have to give a big shout out to this wonderful and very unique trophy. You told me a minute ago off camera it has a name, so let's share the name.
The trophy's been called for the last 15 state contests started in 1986, and since about 1990 it's been called Bob. Bob, B-O-B.
Right. And this is the traveling trophy.
This is the traveling trophy.
So you guys have your name on here from last year's win, and then you have to put the new plaque on it for this year's win, correct?
Yes. We get the pleasure of I just took $20 out of my own pocket and had it done there. But I'm going to do it like I told you, I'm going to flip this plate over here,
Yeah.
so our name's going to be on top.
On the front, because I don't know if they can see it, but it's out of room
Yeah.
for this year's win.
Yep.
So yeah, let's move this one to the side or to the back, and
Start
that
that
way
one.
you start a new plaque and you'll be on top.
Yes.
And I think that's wonderful. I think that's the way to do it.
I
Absolutely.
suspect that's what they want you to do because,
Yeah.
you know, it wouldn't make much sense to put like stuff from 2005 on the front while the new stuff is on the back. I
Right.
would suspect that's what they want you to do.
Right.
But you don't really give any instructions. They carry, or actually you got to go up there and pick it up. And this was actually broken. And I know I didn't break it because I had it inspected because it's about,
It's
I think
heavy.
it's about, yeah, it's heavy. I think it's about $2,000. This figure here is really expensive, so they say. So the whole thing together is about $1,700, $2,000.
When you think of how many schools this has been in over the many years.
To be fair, it really hasn't been in that many.
Really?
If you look at
Because
this-
it's been probably what, mostly Lexington schools?
It's either Lafayette or Dunbar until here, and it's
Yes.
only been in 3 schools.
Yes. That is true, isn't it?
It is true.
Even though all the different
Yeah, even though there's
and all
lots
the
of different.
years.
And not since the state contest started in 1986, there's only been 5 bands that have won the big class, and one of the guys is retired, so there's only 4 active directors that have won it.
Wow. And this trophy, well, let's just talk about, you mentioned class.
No, I take that back. There's only 2 active directors now that have won it.
Really?
Yeah. Chuck Smith at
I was
Lafayette.
going to ask you if you remembered.
And Chuck Smith, Lafayette, and me.
Wow. That's impressive. So does that mean you're going to continue? You will be winning this trophy again for how many more years? You're not retiring. That's the question I'm asking. Never. You know the parents won't let you retire.
Well, they don't have a lot to say in it the last time I looked. I joke with the kids, like if we're having a bad rehearsal or if things aren't going very well, I remind them that at this point, I'm not out there for the money. I could make almost as much money as stay home.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
Writing music.
Again, my wife says, "Are you out of your mind?" But
She doesn't want you at home full time, I would guess.
Well, I think she thinks I work awfully hard for the
For what little bit of pay?
yeah for what a little bit of pay. But you know, once you start getting 32 years in that Kentucky retirement system,
Right.
you're not making a lot to go up to Central. Because, you know, it's just the way all the mathematics works out.
Yes.
But, you know,
This makes it all worthwhile.
well, the kids make it.
Yeah. And
You know,
the kids.
the kids are just great. They really are. They're funny. They're alive. They're vibrant. They haven't lost all faith. They're not ultra jaded. A lot of people. You know, there's a lot of stereotypes about teenagers out there, and you know, I do have my hands full, but more often than not, they're just fantastic.
Mhm.
Now, you know, there's always an issue to deal with. There's always one or two kids that strays
One or
from the
two
herd.
bad seeds.
I wouldn't even say bad, but they stray from the herd for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Um,
And do you handle that personally? Or do
Most
you
of the
have
time.
staff do it?
no, most of the time I do. As a matter of fact, I get kind of upset because sometimes the kids will go to my assistants, will go to the staff if they want to miss rehearsal or if they need to do this or that.
Because they know what you'll tell them.
Yeah, I'm the bad cop. There's no question about that.
Somebody's got to be it, right?
Somebody's got to be the bad cop.
And then you need them there.
Yeah.
Because probably I would say certain positions don't work or won't play out properly.
Band's a little bit different. You know, one of the things that I envy about my colleagues in the athletics world is, you know, you have X number of kids that go out for football or basketball, and you only have 11 positions, or you only have 5 positions. So if somebody starts yanking your chain a little bit, well, there's somebody on the bench that would love to play.
Yes.
So
Sub them in.
come on in. With me, if they tell me they want a spot, if they tell me they're going to do it, if they tell me they're going to compete, then I make sure they have a spot. Now, in the course of a season, 2 or 3 kids will just go down through injury or something very legitimate, or they'll get some legitimate type of sickness. It's very high pressure, but so you're always gonna have 2 or 3 holes out there anyway. But then if you start to dribble away from rehearsal, then you have 7 or 8 holes, and that's hard to work around.
Yes.
It's hard
Understandable.
Yeah.
Very understandable.
I'm glad you understand it. Sometimes it's not hard out.
You're like, how am I going to fix this situation?
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
It's hard, like if Mallory's out there marching. If she's 2 steps away from me and she's not there, then I got to not only guess where she is, I've got to guess what 2 steps is, and that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm. So let's move into this situation. Watching the video of the semifinals,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like there are 100 transitions.
There's a lot.
How many do you think there are? There were so many I quit counting.
I want to think. We call them drill sets.
Okay.
And that's the way we teach it. We have charts. We have charts of every set. And what you see is the kids moving from one formation to another formation.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year we ended up with 91.
Wow.
Because
is that more than last year?
It's comparable.
Okay.
It's a little bit more. The show might have been a couple of seconds longer this year.
Okay.
And
each show has to be timed within a certain time limit.
Yes, it has.
Right?
It can't be shorter. The music can't be shorter than 6 minutes, and it can't be longer than 10.
Okay.
But that's a lot of leeway.
Yes. Now, go ahead.
But there's subsets too. Like for instance, if the brass is going to something that's 16 counts, but you want to form like in this show. If you want to form a rotating X in the woodwinds, you can form it in 8 counts and then reverse it for another 8 counts.
Mm-hmm.
So while the brass is going to a set over here, then you have an X that rotates and then flips back.
Right.
So that's a subset. So when you get into subsets, it's over 100.
It's unbelievable. And to think that these kids have been practicing, I'm going to guess June?
July 15th.
July, okay.
Actually, yeah, July 15th is when we kick it off.
Okay. And is this the first year you had a camp for the incoming freshmen? No, you always do that. You just happen to have a lot more this year. And I'm guessing you're going to have even more next year.
I don't know. I haven't really...
You haven't moved into that
I haven't
yet.
really moved into that. That's kind of... I'll probably start this week. But I saw someplace, there's educational psychology, and they research all this stuff. You can find any obscure fact you want to find.
Yeah.
But I think that the average marching band show, the average 7.5 to 8 minute marching band show, has like $1,250,000 individual responsibilities.
That's unbelievable.
I know, but
and you're thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
Well, again, yeah, why am I doing it for no money? But
we won't keep going there. All right, so let's ask you this question. This is, a lot of people probably know this. I don't know it. Why did you choose Explore?
Well, I didn't really choose that. I think it's a very cool name. I always design our music, and I always, like I told you last year, we always come up with music. But I'm not big on what we call it. The only thing that I insist on is that we have some kind of hook, like there's a musical hook.
Yes.
And that's important. Like, say if you're a band parent, part of the fun of being involved in the show is tapping into the theme. And this year the big thing became glow sticks. You can buy them for like, I don't know, $3.50 or something. And they shine bright orange, so they look very cool, and you can do cool things with them.
Yes.
The parents seem to enjoy doing that.
Especially at night when you made it to the finals.
Yes. It was I have to confess, it was very cool to stand on the far sideline, and it's dark and rainy, and there's just sheets of rain, and you see all these raincoats, and then you see all these X's. They're
glowing in the dark.
Yeah, there's like 200 or 300 glowing sets of X's up there. It was very impressive.
I'm sure it is.
But I always insist that we have something that we can hang our head on. Last year was Vendetta, so there's knives and blood and guns and stuff. I wanted to do something a little more positive this year.
You did.
The whole thing was, I wouldn't exactly, we laughed about this last year if you'll remember, but the whole thing got kind of creepy and morbid.
Oh yeah, with a little...
throat slitting and all that. And so I want to do something a little bit more positive, a little bit more this year. So the music that came up was a little bit more major, it was a little bit more epic, like Randy was talking about doing a Daniel Boone thing. This is more sort of I used a lot of moments from the movie Legends of the Fall. I don't know if you remember that, Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins.
That's been I don't remember the year, but
1994.
Okay.
So it's about 21 years.
Okay.
It has.
And so that was your inspiration.
Yeah, that was I'd always kind of wanted to use that. It's really beautiful and sweeping, against the painted skies of Montana. At one time we were going to call the show Painted Skies, but then we backed off of that.
Yeah.
Because it was a little too vague.
Okay.
So we tossed around ideas. We couldn't come up with anything we liked. And so just as I was turning off my computer after a Skype conference call, I saw a picture of the Earth and it said Frontier. And so I called everybody back on Skype right then and said, let's call it Frontier. And that started a conversation which ended up in the word explore. And then we thought, well, that doesn't have a hook. But if we take the X and we capitalize the X, then that'll give us a hook that we can.
You're right.
And so.
Very creative.
Yeah, it's a very creative medium. Everybody comes up with cool stuff.
So how long of a process is it for you to come up with all the music?
I start writing the music. The first idea I had, and I tweeted it out on. I was flying to Chicago for a conference right before Christmas. And I tweeted out as a sort of little teaser, first idea for the show came to me while I was on the plane today. And, parents are like, what is it?
Oh, yeah, they're dying to know.
Yeah, they want to know. And I'm like,
They're probably ready to know for next year.
Yeah, oh yeah, they would love to know right now. Well, I would love to know right now. But
we're just gonna relish.
There was another movie that was very, very cool. It was a pretty terrible movie, but it had a beautiful score by a female composer. And I kind of like female composers. They don't get a lot of recognition, but there's some just brilliant female composers out there.
Yeah.
And she did. I don't know if you remember the Legend of Bagger Vance. She did that. She did Chocolate, the movie with Johnny Depp, and she did music to that, and she did a score to Cider House Rules, and I really liked that score a lot. Mm-hmm. And I listened to it. I heard it on my iPod or my iPhone while we were up in the sky. And it was really, really pretty, and I thought this would be a great hit. It's positive. It's in a major key. It's sweeping. It's kind of sounds like the Old West. And so as soon as I got back from Chicago, I started playing with it on a keyboard, and then I had something ready for everybody to listen to by about March.
Okay. So now, with you writing all this music, do most of the other schools, I'm guessing they have to sub a lot of their...
Yeah,
out.
Almost everybody hires it out.
Okay. That's what I was assuming.
I really do.
Rare bird.
It really is, and that helps us. That works to our advantage.
Because I'm sure that's expensive.
Oh yes, I do two jobs for us that most people hire out. The first thing is I listen to thousands of hours of music and I condense everything into an 8-minute show. I pull and I mix and mingle, and I'm always tweaking with that. But then I also take the actual music that I listen to and that I coordinate. I take that music and I arrange it specifically for the marching band. Okay. Those are almost two different jobs.
Yes.
So.
How much staff do you have helping you?
Well, for that part, I have a fellow that works with our brasses, and he's very, very smart. He does a great job. His name's Brian. He's a professional musician in Cincinnati, and I'll send it to him, and he'll go, well, I really like this, I don't like that, and we got to lose this, and we that's how we spend our Sundays. So staff.
See, but I would think that's not working for you.
Huh?
That's pleasure for you. Like, it's real, okay, because that's what I'm wondering. A lot of people take Sunday off. It's their family time, right. Church time.
Luckily, my kids are grown.
Yeah, but for you, I would think that you enjoy. That's a passion for you.
It's both. That's a great question. It's a great
But it's
observation.
also work.
It's also work. There are times that I just get I get cold chills because it's so much fun, and there's and it's so great to have. Because a lot of composers don't have anybody to play their music. A lot of composers, I'm very fortunate in that regard. Mm-hmm. A lot of composers only hear their music through a keyboard or through a synthesized medium. Whereas I get to, I print it out and take it to the band and hear it that next morning. But there are times that I'd just rather watch a movie, or
Yeah.
I'd rather just watch a ball game. Or,
Right.
There are
Be
times,
normal.
yeah, there are times that I'm really tired from the night before or the day before, and I just like to put my feet up and watch a game.
Right.
And sometimes I don't get to do
Right. So you guys perform at the Madison Central halftime during the football games.
Mhm.
I'm thinking this year it seemed like you actually performed, for me as a watching, seemed less this time than maybe the year before. I could be wrong,
that.
but
No, I think you're right. This hasn't. And I'm sure you know this. This hasn't been like the happiest time for. We had that one incident, the thing with the.
yes, with halftime where it went over.
Yeah, it went
the
over.
clock went a little
So,
over.
even
You
though the
probably
kids-
knew that was going to happen when you saw the time on the.
Yes, I did know.
Scoreboard.
I'm not going to get into long detail,
Yeah.
but I anticipated that the day before. But we decided to go.
You decided to go with it.
Yeah, I think the guys at Central are very nice guys, and they don't want to tell anybody no, and they can't perform, and
Right.
they don't want to tell us that. They don't want to tell anybody else
But
that.
the refs took it a totally
yeah,
different way.
the refs are like.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I think for those of you that don't know, the football team got a 5-yard penalty, but
Well, it's not. I wouldn't give. I really like Mark a lot. He's one of the best people I know. I wouldn't give him a 5-inch penalty if it was mine to do.
right. Exactly. It was not malicious by
Right.
any means.
It was just.
I think the
we had
refs were having a bad day.
They were. I think they were too. Sometimes they'll, because this isn't unique to Madison Central. They have.
Yes.
I was a little worried they might do the golf recognition, so I'd kind of put my feelers out.
Oh yeah, that's even going to make
Yeah,
it longer.
Yes. But
That
anyway,
was before the game, so.
But so even though we got to put that show in, it really didn't seem like a full show because we were just all trying to get everybody off the field as fast as we could.
Yes, and I think
Yeah.
the officials even walked through some of your
Yeah,
students.
they did.
They're,
But anyway, they had their job to do.
yeah.
But and then of course normally we would have played Friday night, but we had to get down to the Bowling Green, so we missed
True.
the Southern game.
Yes,
so there's
senior night.
And it seemed like we only had outside the Roy Kidd Bowl. It seemed like we have 5 games. One of them was homecoming. Is that
Yes.
right, or do we have 4 games?
I'm thinking 4 maybe.
4. So one of them's homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
Then we only have a little bit of the show on the first game, and then we lose one of them. So we only play.
Because you were gone
right?
at a competition for one.
Southern. Well, it was the Southern game last week.
Oh,
So
I thought there was another one
no.
that you were gone for.
We were.
Okay.
But so that really only left, for all practical purposes, 3 games, and that's
Okay.
not very many.
Right. No, yeah.
We
'cause to
like,
me it seemed
that always bugs me a little bit because we kind of like playing for the crowd. That's
Yeah.
our crowd, and the Madison Central people have always, whether they're football parents or band parents or just people from the community, they always respond well to
They
the band.
do.
And the kids really enjoy it, and
Mm-hmm.
the kids and the.
It's a wonderful opportunity to get them in front of a crowd
most
again.
of our faculty, people like Karen, she always has the cheerleaders sit there and watch it, and they're always very.
The dance team.
The dance team sits there and watch it. They're always very responsive, very positive.
Yes.
And the kids like that, and in turn the kids watch their performances and they try to be positive
Yeah.
as well. And so it's a little bit unfortunate if we only get to have three games, but
Yes.
it just worked out that way.
No, that's how. Well, maybe next year.
Maybe
right?
next year will be a little bit.
Got to get you out there some more.
It seems like they've kind of flip-flopped the open days or the game days,
Yeah.
from year to year.
Oh, and that very well could be.
So we'll probably have an extra one next year.
Awesome. That's what we're looking forward to already. Okay, so moving into the competition season early on, you guys came out with a bang. You won your first regular competition.
Yeah, I thought that was in the pouring rain. It seemed like this year everything was in the pouring rain.
A lot.
It's been my experience that about once out of every 8
Yeah.
years it rains every Saturday.
And I think you swept everything except one category, the drum line. or
Yeah, the
something
drum
like that.
line. We Dixie Heights has traditionally had a fantastic percussion, just like us. So those drum lines go hard at each
Yeah.
other, and the kids lost the drum line by a point or so.
Which
That just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Those things are even less scientific than the band, and the band's not very scientific. But the drum lines, they might as well have a band booster out there judging them for most of the time.
Yeah. But you thought the kids, I'm sure, were, your thoughts on that, I don't want to put words in your mouth. The first competition, they were ready?
I thought it was pretty awful, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have had, and this is morbid. If you want to edit this out, all this out, it's your business.
We're not editing.
But I had a student that I really, really liked. That was my field commander in 1998 and 1999. She was first year clarinet, and I got a message like on the Thursday before we were supposed to go to Beachwood on Saturday, that she was dying of cancer in hospice in Richmond. So I dropped what I was doing. I went out there and stayed. And, and then right after we got back from Beachwood, she died. So I was
that weekend was very sentimental for you.
It was sentimental. It was raining. It was just like, the kids did okay, but it was just hard to focus on.
Lots of emotion.
Yeah.
I get it.
We have a little bit different relationship with our field commanders because they basically really actually do lead and conduct the band.
Yes, and you have 4 of those, correct?
We had, back in her days, we only had 1.
Okay.
But they have the complete responsible for setting the tempos, which is they kick off the band, they cut off the band. They have you work very closely to make sure they know and follow their responsibilities. So,
because during competition, you're not allowed to do any
you're not
signals, nothing, right?
Yeah, you're not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to do any kind of cue at all.
Does that drive you crazy? Because you're totally in charge, and then you have to not be in charge.
Sometimes you'll see or hear something about so and so breaking the rules by conductor, but most of the band directors, they just. It's hard for them not to move with the shows they create and the shows they've been teaching. So sometimes, I'm pretty sure most of the time subconsciously they'll get their hands out and they'll conduct. But legally by our rules, you're not supposed to have any say or any.
Once the performance starts.
So you get close to those girls, and
you have to put a lot of trust into them.
This is kind of awful, but sometimes if I'm sensing one of them's having a bad day, I'll say, you're not drum major by accident. I'm trusting you with a 35-year teaching career, about $130,000 to $40,000 budget, and 1,700 hours of work this year. So. Don't
mess this up.
Don't break up with your boyfriend today, and if you do, get over it fast.
Yeah, because their one position can totally wreck
if they're nervous, and plus the band feeds off of them. Sometimes I'll pull them off the side and say, I know you're nervous, but you need to smile.
Because they're feeding off of you.
Yeah, and the kids feed off of them.
Yeah,
even though they technically don't play anything, they still are highly important.
Yes. If they're nervous, the students sense it.
If they're nervous, the students are nervous.
Yeah.
So, I get to know my field commanders really well, and I don't want anything to happen to any of them ever. I want them all to live to be 100. Yeah. That's not
there's a great picture in the Richmond Register, I believe Callie Boggs, coming off the bus with the trophy, and it's very impressive. I mean, you guys... We'll get back into. I feel like we're going back and forth, but coming in, speaking of the buses, you guys had a police and fire escort back into town, and then you pull up into Madison Central, and you had lots of families, friends, so much of the community support right there on the sidewalks right in front of Madison Central.
It was really nice. Plus, our colors are bright orange, which is like about 3 or 4 staff meetings all by itself. Because, it was pointed out to me numerous times that orange and blue are Southern colors.
Southern colors, yes. Yes. And you know what? Going to watch their halftime performance during Southern games, they use very similar colors this season as you.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew that.
I did, But what we decided to do is we called our color palette sunset.
Okay.
So we used
What's
yellows and oranges
Right.
and kind of
Not
faded
orange and
reds.
navy.
As a matter of fact, and again, the parents get involved. Anytime they see a sunset with a plane trail making an X, they post it on Facebook. And,
Yeah.
there's some very cool pictures.
There have been some really, and videos.
And
There's
videos.
videos of the bus ride
Yeah.
back from the, through town and back to the school. It's been incredible. A lot of love and support.
One of my things is, and I think it's always important, like for younger teachers, ultimately, your community and your parents got to determine your success over a period of time. And so I always design everything with the idea, can the parents come up with a theme? Can the parents dress up in costume to this? Can the parents find something fun to do to this?
Right.
So I always try to
That's
make
important.
sure, it is important. I was trying to make sure that
Trying to
there's
think
some
of
kind
how
hook.
you did that with Vendetta, because you
Well, we
can't
did-
give guns out at
No, you can't. But they did. They had some of them dressed up like mafiosos.
Perfect.
Some of them started carrying like a black rose to show, because that's
Yes,
the whole. That's
they
the
had
whole
the
Vendetta.
roses,
Yeah,
yes,
they had.
the year
That's
before.
the whole. Some of them had like Vendetta shirts with they make their own shirts, and they had like bullet holes in the V, stuff like that.
I think it's
Or they had
wonderful.
blood dripping off the
Yeah,
V.
yeah.
I felt like that got awful morbid toward the end.
That makes it a little fun, right?
It made it. We were slitting throats and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of fun while it lasted, but
Yeah.
it's not a direction I want to go down every
Not-
year.
Let's don't keep going that way. Yeah. All right, so let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to the competitions. There was, I think, your third competition possibly where you guys did not win.
It was our third regular. Our competition season was a little shorter this year because of Labor Day. We usually don't have
Okay.
the first contest. Last year Labor Day was like the first weekend or the first Saturday. It was like the first or second of September. This year it was like the 7th or 8th.
Right.
So
Were you surprised when you didn't win? You've been on a winning streak for what?
Well, we hadn't lost anything
Since 2013.
No, we lost. We went to Moorhead and we lost in their finals
Oh,
at on September the 26th of 2014.
okay. Okay.
So it's been that long.
All right. Oh, a long time.
Yeah, over a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never. These things again. These things are not scientific. If we have a boy from Central that crosses the goal line with a football in his hands, I know for a fact he's going to get 6 points.
Right.
I know for a fact. And if he crosses the finish line more than a boy from Southern, I know we're going to win.
Yes. Yes.
I can count. He made 4 touchdowns.
Right.
And with the extra points, that's going to be 28 points.
But with judging,
But
a
with
main
judging,
competition.
it's a little. We like to pretend for everybody's sanity and security that there's a rubric, but the rubric includes words like most of the time, or generally,
Yeah.
or usually, or most
Yeah,
often,
yeah.
and those are all
And
in scientific.
opinions.
Yeah, like what does most often mean? Does it mean 7 out of 10? Does it mean 9 out of 10? Does it
Right.
mean 10 out of 10?
Right.
So
So you
I
aren't.
never put anything to the bank.
Okay.
And North Hardin, we lost to them at Mayo. They're really
Right.
good. I mean,
That was on the 17th of October, I
the
believe.
kids are
something
all
like
the
that.
kids in
Or 7th, something.
that was I want to think it was the 17th of October.
Yeah.
I want the parents and the kids are always looking. Oh well, we got robbed, blah 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 blah. But
They're disappointing.
well, yeah, but I laughingly say, John Calipari gets paid $7 or $8 million a year. He loses quite a few.
Yeah, you can lose one every now and
Yeah,
then, right?
we can lose it.
Well, and you'd rather lose then
Yes, and that's very
than
true.
last Saturday.
We've gotten, I hate to use this word, but we've gotten a little bit on the cocky side. Every once in a while, I mean, nobody likes to lose, and believe me, I don't like to lose at tiddlywinks. I'm really competitive. I don't like to lose at anything. But every once in a while, I need to be brought back down to earth. Sometimes my students need to be brought back down to earth. I I'd written a closer that wasn't bad at all. It's it's pretty cool. Everybody liked it. But I remember thinking, while I was sitting there at mail, that's not going to work. I wanted to juice that up a little bit. I wanted to make that more
and that's
energetic.
what I think that's what I really want to know is after losing that evening, what did you do and what did you come home and change?
I came home and changed the last 30 or 35 seconds of the show.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Luckily, I didn't change all of it. I didn't make it completely different, but I took some of the material that was there and I rearranged it, and then I added some stuff. So a lot of our music came from the New World Symphony, and there's this really dramatic hit. That's most of the New World Symphony has some dark minor chords, but they all switched to the major, and it's really exciting. And I just took that major part of the New World Symphony, I plugged it in, and it really, the first time we did it in practice, the parents said, "Oh, that's really cool," and I'm positive that we wouldn't have won without that new ending.
Really?
So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you probably have, there's a lot of people out there that don't like change. This is the way we've learned it. We got to stick to it. But then you probably had a lot of students that were like, "Yeah, I think we need to change this."
That's everything has its advantage, and everything has an advantage and disadvantage. One of the things about me being our arranger and our music writer is the kids know that I'm always going to tinker with it. They just like when some of the newer kids go, "Is he really going to change? Are we really going to have to learn another page? Are we really going to have to learn like 20 more measures?" The older kids are going to, that's just the way it is. Get used to it or get out. But he's just going to do that.
Yeah, that's
so
how
they
it
tell
is.
the younger kids.
And surely, to goodness, they eventually learn you're doing it for the betterment of the entire group.
Right. It's all, it's no different than any other competitive enterprise. It's all calculated risk, for lack of a better word. It's all a risk. You never know. And even though I think I do a pretty good job, sometimes I don't know how it's going to actually sound and look until I watch them do it. And so I remember sitting there in the sidelines.
Yeah, that's right. This is working.
This is not very excited. This is not very. And so the first time we ever did a complete show was at quarterfinals, which is a little scary, but it worked. It turned out all right.
That can be a little scary.
They probably had their best performance of the year in quarterfinals.
Really?
Yeah, and sometimes we have. I'm not just saying this because I'm biased toward my kids, but we have some incredibly sharp kids. Even the younger ones that are. Even the younger ones that are Mallory's age, they're really smart. They've had good training, and sometimes if they do the same thing over and over again, they kind of put it on cruise control. Whereas if you throw something new at them, then they have to actually stop and think about what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's I think that throwing in a little bit of new drill, I think it actually worked.
Well, North Hardin, for those of you that don't know, you guys lost to them during that competition. And then, believe it or not, after semifinals, you guys weren't leading. You were behind North Hardin. Not by much.
No, actually, we beat, when we went to Mail, North Hardin they're having a great year. And I'm convinced that they were really kind of going for a trifecta. They're doing the Macy's Parade this year.
Oh, okay.
So that's a big thing. It's a big thing for bands, and they're concert bands playing at the Midwest Clinic in Chicago, and that's a very big deal. Band directors from as far away as Australia and Japan will come into that, fly in that. Like there'll be 17,000 band and orchestra directors up there.
Wow.
From all over the world, and so North Hardin will be playing for those guys. We'll be playing, so that's a huge deal. Hats off to them, props to them. It's impressive.
Yes.
And I think they were really pulled out all the stops. I know that some of their staff had flown to Hawaii to meet with this internationally known drill writer and program coordinator, and I think they were really going.
They thought they
were going for the knockout blow, saying this is without question the best band program in Kentucky.
Yes.
I think they were going for that statement. So they look great, they sound great, and honestly, I'm glad I didn't have to judge it, but we beat them at Mayo by 1 3/10 in prelims, and then by 2 tenths they came back in finals and beat us by 2 tenths. At state, They beat us by a point in 3/10 in prelims, and then we came back and beat them by 2/10 at the end.
In the finals.
Yeah, I mean, and again, hats off to them. Band is a pretty small world, and I know the people at North, and I know the people at Lafayette, and North has been a fantastic program since I was in high school. Sometimes the kids think that Lafayette is the only great band out there, because Lafayette has won a lot.
Yes, I bet they came in 4th this year.
Yeah, they did. But sometimes our kids and our parents think, well, they'll always get up for Lafayette. That's always big for them.
Right.
But North has been a phenomenal program since I was in high school. It's been a nationally recognized program, and they have the very best of teaching and teachers over there. They have great people. As a matter of fact, there's a legendary high school band director by the name of Chuck Campbell, who kind of set up his own mafia at North. His wife was the guidance counselor. She was the lead counselor. His son, one of his sons, was assistant principal. Another son was the athletic director. So he had his hooks into everything.
Yes.
And it was very definitely a band school.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, one of his sons helped with football team or coached football or something like that. But they were
all in the family.
It's all in the family.
Yeah.
And so, they've been a terrific band school, and sometimes our kids don't understand that, Lafayette's definitely done the heavy lifting on winning trophies, but North has done some incredible things and achieved some incredible things. As a matter of fact, I think of the 5 schools that have won the big class, North and Lafayette and Dunbar and us, and GRC, the very first year of state competition, GRC won it. GRC used to have an amazing band.
Right. And they were in the 5A?
Yes, at that time. Now, their program, like other things, things come and go. Their program's kind of fallen on hard times. It's not.
Right.
But at one time, GRC was a juggernaut.
Wow. And we want to let everybody know that it's not based on band size, what division you're in, what class you're in. It's based on your school size.
It actually used to be based on band size, and then, as it became, people began to think it was more fair to divide it up and make it. With band, there's really, I'm not convinced there's any fair way to do it. I think both, it's hard.
Yeah.
If you do it by school size, then for big rural high schools like Laurel County,
right,
or Johnson Central, places like that, it becomes hard because kids can't necessarily travel 25 miles to stay for band practice at last till 6 o'clock.
That's true.
So I think it gives the consolidated city schools like the Lafayettes and Taste Creeks, I think where there's neighborhoods, I think it helps them.
Yes.
But by the same token, if the director doesn't have any incentive to beat the bushes, then sometimes he gets, or she lets the band program get smaller than it should be. So, both arguments have their merit, but now it's school size.
Well, to come back full circle to the beginning of our interview, we mentioned earlier that it was a long day.
It was a long day.
And that's how we started this interview. You guys performed in the afternoon and then again in the evening. That's a long day.
It really is.
And to think, I don't know if I could do it.
I don't know if I could do it either.
You wouldn't want to do it more than one Saturday, right? No,
it's right at a 20-hour day for me.
Yeah.
Maybe not 20, maybe 18. But I remember I was up shepherding kids onto the bus and whatnot, starting about 7. I was up about 5. But we started loading buses stuff around 7:30 or 8.
Yeah. And
then we were practicing by 8 at the middle school.
Wow. And then the finale is, you all played at what time?
10:45.
10:45, which most of us are in bed by then.
It's really, we have a young group. It's not uncommon, you see there, of course, they're standing in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
And you see some of the kids start to yawn and stuff.
And you're like, wake up,
and you go, that's probably past her bedtime.
Yes. Even though they're high schoolers, they're still, they go to bed early because they got to get up early to go to school.
Teenagers, need a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
All research has shown that
It's better for them if they do.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
they need sleep. They need, their bodies are growing, their minds are very active, and they need sleep. And they just don't get it that day.
Yeah. Well, the final outcome. So it was Madison Central first place, then North Hardin,
Yep.
and then Dunbar and Lafayette. Is that how you'd ranked them?
I didn't really get to see them.
You didn't? Okay.
No, because we're warming up in Lafayette.
Okay.
A lot of my band director friends have said that it was the most competitive state finals they've ever seen, or the most competitive they've seen in 10 years.
So you're glad you weren't a judge?
Yeah, people get all wrapped up in judging, and parents get wrapped up in the fairness and the unfairness of it all. But the simple truth is, it's really hard. We do things well. North Hardin does things well.
They're going to be gunning for you guys. I mean, as if they weren't already. A lot of people thought you had the home field advantage last year with it being up at Eastern. This year it was at Bowling Green, so you got to dispel any of those rumors.
I laughingly told our staff, I don't think I told our kids this quite yet, but there's a line from the movie Dances with Wolves whenever, after they're in that tussle in the creek and he stabs a few of the soldiers, and they go gunning for him. There's a line where he tells Chief Tin Bears that he says, "The white man will hate me like they hate no other. They will stop at nothing to get to me." And I told our kids that's probably where we are right now. We're going to be hated like no other.
I think you will. So, you think that makes it more pressure for next year?
Yeah, but, if it doesn't matter whether you've got a child that's in a academic team or whatever, anything. If you're successful, you're gonna draw some animosity. It just,
they call it haters now.
Yeah, that's what the kids call it, the haters.
They call it haters.
They go, so and so's a hater.
Yeah.
You see on the message board, oh, they're a hater.
Yeah.
But it's what do? You choose to not be successful because of the haters.
I don't think so. So maybe that could be your, thought process going into the new season. Will you take a break? How long will you take a break and just enjoy this winter?
Something that the parents, and I'm not sure the parents quite understand, but I'm still a teacher at Madison Central High School.
But as far as band, you won't be done because they're starting basketball season. You guys got to get the pep band out there.
Well, they got to get the pep band, but also,
and concert band.
We have a concert band festival that we have to go to. Last year we performed at the state, our concert band. Our concert band's really, really good too.
Yes.
And, we haven't I'm not sure exactly what day it's on, but the choral teacher and I, we've gotten the last 2 or 3 years, we've put together this huge Christmas thing in the Arts Center this year. We're going to do it in the Arts Center. We did it in the Arts Center
I did not know that.
Yeah, we need to promote it because
we do.
Everybody that goes to it, we charge $10 or $12 for it. But everybody that goes to it's just blown away because the choral department up at Central's fabulous. They're just they are, and our program's pretty good, and the two things together, what started all that, I don't know how many graduations you go to of ours, but everybody just loves the battle hymn that we do with the chorus. Everybody's like, "Oh, can I buy that? Is there any way?" So
they want to buy it.
Yeah, but people are like. Mrs. Jury and I were talking about the implications of, how popular it is, and we thus thought, what if we combine the band and the chorus to where we did some really big productions with orchestral and singing and, just the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
Tried out everything but the kitchen sink. So we've done it the last 2 years, but now the arrangements, I do a lot of the arranging for that too.
Okay.
The arrangements we use are very mature. They're stuff from Disney, and that Disney stuff's really, really sophisticated. It's written for the finest professionals.
Yes.
So it'll take, if I start on it tomorrow, which I might, it'll take, if I can find it all, it's all logged on my computer underneath this year's marching band show. But it'll take me a month to make that stuff sound good. Then there's a Christmas parade.
Right.
This time of year too, the kids focus on honor bands like All State and All Regional. They practice they practice trial for those. So I mean,
you're busy. It's a busy
time
of year.
It's a very busy time of year. I'm gonna.
There's no relaxing for you. No vacations.
I usually take the second, unless I have a great idea for a show. I usually take the second week of Christmas and I relax.
Okay.
I usually write during spring break. I usually spend my spring break writing, and then I usually take a weekend, the end of June, that I don't allow myself. I don't have a laptop. I don't take anything down to the beach. I just sit there and stare at the ocean for like a
And
week.
go, I don't want to hear music.
Well, I hear it in my head, but that never.
Yeah, you can't turn that off,
That
can
button
you?
doesn't ever go off. But I don't take any phone calls.
Yeah.
I don't take any.
So this is the traveling trophy, and we want to make sure everybody knows you guys do get a trophy, and we have pictures of it that gets to stay at Madison Central.
Well, we get a plaque over there by.
And Randy took some pictures of it, so he'll post
Yeah.
it during the show. But that's a trophy, and then you also everybody gets their medal.
Everybody gets the medallion. I wore one just as a sort of audio visual.
I love it. Perfect. It is television.
The kids love it.
And you were telling me off air that everybody gets one, even in the if they make it to the finals, but the ribbon's a different color.
Right. Actually, I was on the state committee when we decided to do a few things to make our, frankly, having gone to the Sweet 16 a few times, our organization is behind athletics. Our professional organization. As a matter of fact, whenever Central won the state basketball championship, I was on the phone with the executive director of KME and said, we've got to take a look at this. They do some stuff that's very cool. Like they have that big jumbotron in the dark. They introduce every administrator. They have all those lights going everywhere, all those laser lights
They
going
don't do
everywhere.
that for you guys.
No, it's just like, okay, in fourth place, it's just, now the parents get pretty excited.
Yes.
But the whole thing could be much snazzier.
Yeah.
And so, in an effort
I think
to try
you
to
guys
make,
are creative enough to make that happen.
of course we are. The question is, we got to get past the leadership. But one of the things that we did make happen about 10 years ago was the idea of getting a medal. And the kids collect these over years, like, of course, I'm not sure any of our kids know the Dickens Christmas Carol, but I said some of those kids were like Marley's Ghost. Whenever has to carry that big thumping chain around.
Yes.
Some of those kids have like 5 medals.
Five of those
and they're all
things
kind of
dragging around.
Yeah, they're like walking like that.
That's a good problem to have.
It is.
It's a wonderful problem to have.
But that's always a very emotional moment when the kids are, especially if you win, when the kids are sitting there with tears running out of their face, and then I'm putting medals around their necks. That's pretty nice.
And you said you knew before they made the big announcement. They tell you guys?
No.
No, they don't.
No.
So then how did you told me earlier that the press found out. Someone leaked it to the press.
Somehow somebody said, I haven't verified this, somehow somebody said that it was out in the paper, like on the paper's Twitter
Like
site.
on their Twitter feed
Yeah,
or
on their
something.
Twitter's feed, like before.
But they don't tell the directors.
No.
Isn't
I didn't
that
know.
crazy?
As a matter of fact, I wish I wasn't like this, but I can be kind of gloomy. I'm like, it's standing there, it's pouring around rain, I'm so tired I can't think. I'm sure we're going to come in third or fourth. And so they called Lafayette, and I was like, Lafayette, it's been 30 years since Lafayette has been anything besides first or second.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah. That was good news to you.
It was good news to me, but not, I never really take complete good news if some child's going to be somewhere, tearing up. I still struggle with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about competition is you have to beat somebody else.
Somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose.
Somebody's going to feel bad.
Yeah.
If you win, and those kids from Lafayette, they came to visit with me during the Lafayette football game, and they were all really sweet. There's probably 4 or 5 of them.
Really?
Yeah, they were the sweetest kids ever. They came over and said, "We just love your show, and we want to see it again." And,
yeah. That's
so
wonderful.
So it's hard to root for them, but at least I knew we were going to be fourth. As a matter of fact, I jokingly turned over to one of my staff guys and said, "Well, there's going to be somebody in Bowling Green having a worse night than us." And then they announced Dunbar third. I said, "Okay, I can live with second. Seconds." At Madison Central, we have had we have all of our activities seem to be stepping up. But if you're second in a comprehensive contest over the whole state of Kentucky, that's pretty good at Madison
That is
Central.
pretty darn
That's
good.
pretty. You know, if you're in
Against
a
some of the top notch
right, if you're in
schools.
like if you're
The biggest class.
If our football, I would suspect that if our football team came in second to Trinity or Mayo this year, I'd say there'd be some pretty heavy duty celebrations.
Yes.
But you know,
guys want to win.
But yeah, everyone,
Not that they don't want to win too,
Yeah,
but yeah.
But you know, we did win last year. So then I really thought, you know, I kind of just thought they had been so successful with the Macy's and all that other stuff. I really thought it's just going to be their year. And sometimes it is people's year. Sometimes there's a sort of a karma or a sense of destiny. And I really just thought it's going to be their year. You know, more power to them. They're great. But then they call out North Hardin. I'm like, I mean, it was much more explosive than last year. Because last year, I think everybody thought we were going to win.
Okay.
But this year, it was real explosive, and a lot of staff guys started jumping them down. And it's exciting stuff. I was jumping them down. I was really excited.
Yeah. And they had to kick you guys out of the stadium.
They had to kick us out of the stadium.
We're turning the lights out. The trash is picked up. You guys got to quit taking pictures and get out of here.
You know, it used to be in my day, we had film. So, you know, you had like 12 exposures, and once those 12 exposures, you were done. You had to go back to the drugstore. But now, you know, with those phones and stuff, they can take like, there's parents on the Facebook page that have 500 pictures, you know.
Wow.
Well, not 500, but
like close.
But 125.
Yeah.
You know, which is still a lot.
And you know what, though? It's a moment that they, as well as their children, will never forget. Because the parents are just as involved. They're not performing, but they probably feel like they've put as much time into it.
There's a phenomenon, I told our kids this. You know, I tried out for things, and I competed for things when I was their age. But, well, you're a mom. Let's just, you know, let's speak. Well, let me turn the tables on you. When Mal or your daughter that cheers, when they're competing, don't you get more nervous for them than you ever got for yourself?
For myself, yes. I almost wish it was me out there doing it.
Yes. The fact that you can't control it and you have to turn it over to them. Yes. And I'm the same way with my boys.
Yes.
Not that we're helicopter parents, that's what kids call us, helicopter parents. You know,
you just want them to do their best.
And
you're like, I wish it was me because I could control it.
Yeah, like whenever I competed, I was real flippant. You know, it's like whatever. You know, we'll win, lose, draw. But like when your kids are performing, when your children and the band kids are my children, when they're performing, my heart is in my stomach. It's turning like.
That's why I asked you earlier. Is I don't know how you have to keep your hands down, tie them behind your back, because I'd want to be out there.
I clap a lot.
Yeah. And you turn around and look at the parents a lot too. At the I guess the expression from the stadium of the faces.
You can get a little bit of a read house going. So
I think your reading was good.
Well, I emailed you that link, and you know it's a very cool high definition link. I don't think that we were great in terms of clean, but man. There are times we sound terrific, and the kids play with a tremendous sense of passion and energy. And sometimes in the band world, if it's relatively clean and all the other things being equal, sometimes that passion and on a sheet is called communication of roles, but sometimes that communication from the kids to the judges, even though the judges are in the 50s and 60s, sometimes it comes through, and sometimes it touches them.
Yes, and we got to give a shout out to Peter Corey. He had a fantastic solo.
He really did.
He's got those girls around him.
Yes,
the color guard.
He's kind of shy. I'm sure.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm not sure he was like completely sold on whole girls around him.
But it was fantastic.
Oh man,
did he have to try out for that part?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But he started to distinguish himself a lot last year with his playing, and I knew. You know, it's just like anything else. If you have if Alan Feldhouse gets a 7-foot guy, he's going to devise a lot of plays. In my heart, I felt like Peter was going to develop into a really phenomenal player.
So you made that specifically. You knew this is for him.
No, but I made him try out for it because you never know. Somebody else, you want to keep it fair.
True.
But I knew we would have.
And he may choke. He
Yeah.
didn't.
No,
we knew,
no,
he knew he wasn't going to, but
But you have to give everybody a chance, and sometimes But I knew we had at least one person that could do it,
yes.
and he did
nailed
fabulous. He was fabulous with all year long.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Yep.
Listen, congratulations. I just got to touch the trophy one more time. The sucker is heavy.
It is heavy.
It really is heavy. We really appreciate you giving up your evening to
I really appreciate
talk
you.
to us, and it's been a joy. I always love it.
I know this isn't your niche in terms of it's not Madison County Band TV.
Listen, this is a sport. Let me tell you
It
something.
is a sport.
It absolutely is, and we cover all sports. At least we try to.
And I really enjoy talking to you. You always ask great questions, and
Well, thank
you're right
you.
on point with your interview. So
Listen, I try. I try to follow you guys all season. I have a lot of friends that are in. I mean, their kids are in the band, so I'm always keeping up. I'm like, I might as well have a child in the band. Well, yeah. See, it didn't work. She's turning around.
I really enjoy working with her at Madison Middle. But anyway,
I know it. You guys do have a wonderful, not just Madison Middle, but you guys have a lot of great middle schools
directors,
that work. I mean, a lot of great teachers.
We
that,
do.
Yeah, that help bring them up so that they're ready when they're freshmen.
Band is a lot like football because of the number of people you have to have and the amount of money it takes. But everybody thinks, well, Brent's figured out something, or but it's really been a 20-year process, getting the right middle school people in place,
Yes.
getting the right high school people in
Yeah,
place.
people don't think about that, do they?
No, they don't. They think,
Yeah.
oh, well,
It just finally comes together.
yeah, it just kind of comes together. Or they think, it's kind of an overnight success, but it's when it's been 20 years in the building.
Yeah, and you've been there.
Yep.
You've seen it
Yep.
grow.
I've seen it when it was. I think our first band we had 50 wins or 47 wins in 18 color guard. I think.
Wow.
Our 47 wins in percussion.
Yeah.
We had 2 kids in the pit my first year. And then somebody broke their leg, then we had 3 kids in the pit. So,
It happens.
Yeah, it's grown. It's a different animal now.
It really is. You're right. That's a wonderful way to put it. An animal.
I watch it sometimes just for fun. I'll go back and Google from 1999 or 1997.
Okay.
And it'll stun me how small it looks.
Right, and how different. Somebody just posted a picture of Madison Central on Facebook not too long ago, back from the 90s, and that was interesting to see.
It's smaller.
It was much smaller. Well, listen, congratulations
Thank you
once
so
again
much.
from all of us at Madison County School Sports Television. We're very excited, and we can't wait to see what next season brings.
Well,
Stay tuned, right?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. Congratulations. Thank you again for giving up this evening. It's
Thank
been
you
a
for
pleasure.
giving up your evening.
Well, I enjoy it. This is my job, and this is why we love what we do, right?
Right, that's right.
All right.
You do what you do.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you watch this over and over. If you got any kids in the middle school coming in,
Make them sign up for band.
make them sign up for band.
Make them do it.
Absolutely. All right.
After like 2 or 3 weeks, they'll like it, but the first day may be a little touchy.
First day may be hard.
If it's like
Hydrate.
if it's 95 degrees, and just say hydrate and dry the tears, it'll be better.
It gets better.
I had I don't know if the thing's still running, but last year I had a kid. It was the funniest thing I ever heard. He was an 8th grader, he was a middle school kid, but his sister was in a band, so he was trying it out. And he forgot his book bag in the auditorium, or I had to walk him down and get the key, or he was in the cafeteria. And it was dark, and we were talking, He was real quiet, and I finally said, "What do you think about all this band stuff?" And he goes, Mr. Barton, I've been thinking about that. He says, except for the excruciating pain, it's a lot of fun.
That's a wonderful way to put it, I
thought,
guess.
on point.
Honest.
Yeah.
Honest. Maybe not wonderful, honest. All right. I'm Samantha Burford, here with Mr. Brent Barton, the 5A state champions, Madison Central Marching Band. Thank you for watching.
Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, Jerry Goebel and State Farm Insurance, Richmond, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, expressroofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank in Richmond and Berea, Luxury Pet Services in Richmond, Time Warner Cable, Equipment Sales and Rentals, Madison County Schools, Tatum Enterprises, and Real Life Community Church, myrealchurch.org. We want to be sure and thank our fine sponsors, Berea Online, First Gear, WKYT.com, and the Colonel Sports Card Shop. A shout out to another great sponsor, Journey Auto and Boat Sales in Richmond. And welcome to another great sponsor, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Chris Hornsby in Highland Park.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County Schools Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
The following is in smokeless tobacco: cadmium, formaldehyde, lead, nicotine, nitrosamines, polonium-210, hydrazine, benzopyrene, and uranium-235. Don't be a dip. Don't dip.